Chuck E. Cheese, for many people, a place of laughs, fun, and birthday parties. But what if I told you that something sinister has happened at Chuck E. Cheese? I have personally stayed overnight at Chuck E. Cheese and got away with it. But what if I told you that somebody tried staying overnight at Chuck E. Cheese and they didn't get so lucky? Tonight I'm going to be telling you guys 3 true scary stories that has happened in Chuck E. Cheese. And if you are brave enough to stick around till the end of the video, hit that like button. Let's see how many people are brave enough to stick around till the end of the video, where each story will be creepier than the next. This video was inspired by Craniacs. Big shout out to the guys at Craniacs. I'm gonna leave their link in the description down below. Go check them out. Smash that like button and let's begin. Story number 1. There once was a Chuck E. Cheese in my town. It was a very fun Chuck E. Cheese to go to, but one day it unexpectedly closed, never to be reopened again. I think I was the reason. I really loved Chuck E. Cheese. Every Wednesday I would go to Chuck E. Cheese with the $10 that my parents had given me. At the time, I was only in the 6th grade. Everyone would make fun of us for going to Chuck E. Cheese, but we really didn't care. We just loved Chuck E. Cheese. All we wanted to do was go spend our tokens that our parents had given us. But something was a little bit different today. Today, we had a different plan. You see, the funny thing is, I told my mom that I was sleeping at my friend's house, and he told his mom that he was sleeping at my house. And no one would find out, we thought. The plan was to stay overnight at Chuck E. Cheese. And where could you hide in a Chuck E. Cheese? We figured the best place would be the ball pit. We waited till there was 5 minutes left until closed, till there was nobody looking. We ran to the ball pit and hid inside. Soon after, the announcement that they were closing came on. A couple minutes later, the lights came off. We tried not to make a noise, but it was a little difficult trying to breathe in between those balls. We couldn't contain the excitement. It was very difficult not to laugh. Finally, after what had seemed like hours of the employees cleaning, I never knew Chuck E. Cheese employees clean that much. We waited and waited. Finally, after we haven't heard anything for 20 minutes, we decided to come out. Here's the thing, all the lights were off, except for the stage, where we could clearly see Munch's make-believe band excited as ever. We walked around the room filled with dark screens, wondering what to do next. Everything seemed normal at first, until it wasn't. I was staring at Helen for a little while, and when I turned around, Ralph was suddenly not there. Ralph? Where did you go? I was looking for my friend Ralph. I couldn't seem to find him anywhere. It's like he had just vanished. Maybe he's in the bathroom. I'm sure he is. Where else could he have gone? I thought. No big deal. I'll just wait for him out here. 5 minutes gone by. I think it was the longest 5 minutes of my life. As I was waiting, I was just staring at Chucky. It's almost as if his grin kept getting wider and wider and wider. There's no way this is real, right? I must be imagining things. Suddenly, I felt my heart beating. Ralph? Where did you go? So I started walking to the bathroom while keeping my eye on Chucky. After screaming for Ralph's name, there was no reply. Silence. Finally, I gathered the courage to look away from Chucky, ran into the boys' bathroom. I checked every single stall and he wasn't there. Maybe he's around here somewhere. I ran outside the boys' bathroom. As I looked up to the stage, all the animatronics were there except for one. Chucky. Ralph! I screamed at the top of my lungs. Ralph, where did you go? Suddenly, I heard a little cry coming from the ball pit. Ralph? I saw something sticking out. It was Ralph's hand, desperately reaching out of the pit as if he was drowning or being pulled in by something. But before I could reach him, his hand vanished. as if something sucked him inside the ball pit. I have never heard somebody cry that loud. He screamed for his life. I was ready to jump in to save him, but by the time I got there, it was already too late. Slowly but surely, something started leaking from the balls. I looked closely at it, and it was none other than blood. It was Ralph's blood, and no one else's. In my peripheral, I saw something move. I looked to the side, and I saw Chuck smiling. A grin I could never forget. The most evil grin. Holding a knife in his hand, he raised his hand at me and laughed.
You having fun, Luke?
As he said with a huge laugh. I sprinted for the door, even though I knew that the door was probably locked.
Come on! I just want to have fun,
said Chuck. I heard Chuck's voice as he walked towards me. Thankfully, I found a chair that was just there I found a chair that was left by another night shift employee. I grabbed the chair and smashed it across the glass as hard as I could. It cracked, but it didn't break. The alarm went off. I hit the chair. I hit it 2 more times. Finally, the glass shattered. I jumped out as fast as I could, cutting my legs and arms in the process. I was halfway through the parking lot when I looked back to see Chuck standing there staring through the window. He waved one last time at me, but it wasn't his hand. It was Ralph's hand. You see, not everybody is as lucky as I was. I managed to stay overnight at Chuck E. Cheese, but our friend Ralph and his friend did not manage to stay there safely. If you made it this far, give yourself a pat on the back, but don't celebrate too soon. The story after this will chill you to the bone. Story number 2. Everyone loves Chuck E. Cheese pizza. We all have a special place in our heart for Chuck E. Cheese pizza. That's how I've always felt about Chuck E. Cheese pizza. Just warmed my heart. Except for this one time. The story I'm about to tell you will make you never want to eat Chuck E. Cheese pizza ever again. It was my cousin's birthday. She was turning 8, so she was as excited as an 8-year-old could be. But when you're an adult, the last thing you look forward to is screaming kids and stinky feet. But hey, they were giving out free pizza, right? What's the worst that could happen? I thought. They had a special new type of pizza that they were serving today. Lucky me, I guess, right? Wrong. Apparently, they added this to the menu just today. Little strange, I thought. But hey, it's free pizza. It was called the Lori Special. They told us it was a limited time item, but it had extra cheese, extra sauce, and mystery toppings. Extra cheese, I thought? How delightful. Everyone likes surprises, but not this kind. I hope it's extra steak, I thought. 20 minutes goes by. Something strange happens. Instead of a regular employee, Chucky came out to give us the pizza. You should have seen how excited the kids were. They all ran up to Chucky, waiting for free tickets or for a cool Chucky dance. But nothing. He just ignored them all. Suddenly, he just plopped a pizza in front of us, stared at us, and walked away and said not a word. It was the most awkward 5 seconds of my life, so my mother said hi to try to break the ice, but nothing. He just stared at us and walked away. Weird, we thought. Although it was a strange encounter, we were really hungry and excited to eat the pizza, but something smelled a little bit off about this pizza. It was covered in pepperoni, bacon, sausage, and one last meat that I couldn't really put my finger on. I picked up a piece, looked at it, and hesitantly took a bite. Instantly, there was a feeling of nausea that overwhelmed me. I was gonna vomit. The sauce tasted like pennies, and the cheese was definitely expired. But worst of all, I bit right into the mystery meat, and I got a big piece. I spat the meat pieces out onto my plate, only to be mortified by what I saw. It was a human fingertip. My mother screamed as loud as a mother could, "I'm calling the police!" The entire restaurant erupted in a panic. The manager came out confused, and he helped my mom dial the police number. After the police arrived, they said that a girl named Lori was missing about a week ago. Suddenly, it all made sense. The Lori Special. Till this day, every time I hear the name Chuck E. Cheese, I vomit. Well, if you made it this far, I'm proud of you. But the story after this is about to get a whole lot creepier. So grab your diapers and let's keep watching. Story number 3. I've always been afraid of Chucky, even when I was little. Just the sight of looking at Chuck E. Cheese would terrify me. I couldn't even look at him in a commercial. I would run and scream, hiding anywhere I could. My mom thought it was funny. I didn't. My mom said that I would grow out of my fear one day, but to me, it was different. It was more than just him looking creepy. Chucky would visit me every night in my dreams, appearing in his animatronic form, looking sickly and hungry, with blood dripping out of his mouth. Every night, he would peek his head out of my closet and would slowly come to me, but I was too paralyzed to move.
I sure am hungry,
he'd say with his furry hand finally grasping my arm and slowly moved it towards my mouth. And right as he was about to pierce my skin with his ugly, yellow rat teeth, I'd wake up. It got to the point where I would purposely stay awake all night just to avoid that reoccurring nightmare. I started to question reality. Was he really in my dreams, or was he actually in my closet? I was turning 12 in just a few days. I was excited to open up my gifts. Something to take my mind off of Chucky, I thought. My mom told me she had a very special surprise for me on my birthday. I was so excited. 2 days away till I found out what the surprise my mother had prepared for me was. Finally that day, I ran as fast as I could down the stairs to see what the surprise my mom had. She told me to come to the car and to cover my eyes until we got to the surprise. This wasn't looking good, but I was excited. Finally, I felt the car slowing down, and she said,
"Sweetie, we're here."
I eagerly took my hands away, and when I did, my heart stopped. I was looking right at a huge Chuck E. Cheese. The sign out glowed. I screamed involuntarily. "What's wrong, honey?" she said. "Aren't you over your little fear?" But she didn't say it in her voice. It was someone else's voice. A much deeper, a much angrier voice. She grabbed me by my shirt collar and dragged me inside. All the employees had a horrible smiling face that were twisting devilishly. They clapped as my mother brought me closer to the Chucky animatronic.
Help!
I screamed, but to no avail. At last, I was standing before Chucky himself. His eyes glowed red, his mouth opened wide, with sharp yellow teeth. I had seen this in my dreams. This can't be real, I thought, but it was too late. This time, when he grabbed my arm, his teeth actually touched my skin. I screamed out in pain for 5 minutes straight until I finally died. But don't worry, I'm doing just fine. These days, I live here with many other kids, and we're doing just fine. Actually, I think there's a new member of our family joining us today. I really hope so. I'll be watching from Chucky's eyes. Who knows? Maybe might even be you. Well, that was it. 3 scary stories about Chuck E. Cheese. If you guys enjoyed that video and you want to see more scary stories, let me know in the section down below and I will do another scary story for you guys. Dragon Army, have yourself an amazing weekend and a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Peace!